So I've been watching a lot of companies make cuts recently. And if you're somebody who works for a living and you're watching your coworkers get laid off left to right and center all willy-nilly, or maybe you've been the victim of layoffs yourself, cost cutting is not a strategy. Okay, I don't care what you tell yourself. Cost cutting isn't a strategy. Maybe you need a little bit more convincing that cost cutting isn't a strategy. So I'm going to let Rory Sutherland do it because he says it a lot better than I could.
Well, first of all, cost reduction isn't a strategy.
Well, the easiest way to sell anything is cost reduction. In other words, it's what I used to call the doorman fallacy. I don't know if anybody's familiar with this.
And the idea is you run a hotel, okay, and the hotel employs a doorman.
And you say, how much do you pay your doorman? And they give you a figure, which is probably in the sort of low six figures, and you then explain, you define the doorman's role as opening the door.
We will then replace the doorman with an automatic infrared door opening mechanism. This will save you £90,000 a year on doorman salaries.
In reality, a doorman does far more than just open the door. They hail taxis, they recognize regular customers, they provide a measure of security, they provide a measure of status to the hotel.
And so you make this wonderful decision, and everybody congratulates themselves on the cost saving, but then what you discover is a year later, the front of the hotel has become a bit of a slum, and the rack rate's fallen out of bed because you're now no longer a 5-star hotel, you're a 4-star hotel, whatever it is.
You lay claim to all the cost savings that result, and you walk away not being held remotely responsible for any of the value destroyed.
So did you get that? You're claiming credit for today's cost savings, but you assume no responsibility for the opportunities and the growth that's lost in the future, right? Cost cutting should be what you do as a last resort to save your company from extinction. That's when it's time to cut costs. It's not time to do that when you have to come under budget for the fiscal year or you have to report your stock price for Q3. It's not what you do for damage control. It's not what you do. The companies that cut costs today are the ones that are losing opportunity tomorrow. Do something positive with that information, would you?